On a perfect June evening, the world turned its eyes to Rhode Island. It wasn't a wedding, not yet. It was an engagement staged like a royal gala. Roses imported from abroad, champagne stacked in glittering towers, a live band echoing across the water. Friends called it a dream, followers online called it perfect, and for a moment it was. Then the music stopped. The doors slammed wide. Strangers in boots stormed in, shouting numbers in six figures. One slapped a crumpled contract onto a table, scattering glasses into a flood of wine. This wasn't a bank loan. It was money borrowed from a private lender, the kind who doesn't send letters, the kind who collects in person. In a single instant, the groom-to-be went from king of the night to a man cornered, exposed before millions. Every second streamed live. The applause was gone, replaced with disbelief and pity. For the audience, it was shocking. For him, it was collapse. But this wasn't the beginning. It was the breaking point. To understand how it came here, we have to go back. In a single instant, the groom-to-be went from king of the night to a man cornered, exposed before millions. Before the chandeliers and roses, there was Harper, chasing the algorithm from a cramped apartment. Dance challenges, makeup hacks, cooking tricks, nothing worked. Attention was the new currency, and she was broke. Then one clip landed, a prank. Small, silly, but enough to convince her there was a way forward. She built a team, 5 or 6 hungry believers, to chase the next wave with her. Not glamorous, not famous, but determined. Together, they plotted what would become their biggest project. That's when Harper spotted a trend she couldn't ignore: brother-sister prank videos. She needed a partner. She asked Ethan to play the brother. On camera, he became the generous older sibling, forever tricked by his mischievous little sister. To the audience, it felt natural. Overnight, the views exploded. By week's end, they weren't just making clips, they were stars. For a time, the prank wave lifted them higher than they'd dreamed. Brand deals rolled in. They staged photo shoots, drove leased cars, posed like stars. But the internet moves fast. By year's end, the pranks felt stale. The laughter thinned, the numbers slid. In a dim office, Harper's team worked late. They brainstormed new hooks, new angles, anything to pull the audience back. And slowly, a new plan emerged. If the brother-sister act was losing steam, the next arc would be romance. That's when they found her. Lila, a financial analyst, university educated, polished, independent, but quietly wounded by failed relationships. To the team, she was perfect. To Ethan, she was magnetic. At first, she resisted. His high-profile gestures felt shallow, arrogant, but he kept appearing. Flowers at her office, surprise dinners, gifts stacked high. And behind it all, millions of strangers urging her on. Slowly, her doubts bent. And for the first time in years, she let herself believe. But even romance began to tire. The audience wanted more. Sponsors wanted certainty. The team argued late into the night and landed on their next hook, an engagement. A grand gesture broadcast to millions that would lock the audience in and keep the brand alive. Ethan hesitated. Harper pushed. In the end, the stage was set, the ring bought, and the fairy tale engagement rolled before the cameras. When the engagement ended in chaos, most believed Lila would vanish in shame. But she didn't. She told herself the debt meant nothing. Not with their followers, their platform, their reach. With her financial training, she believed she could help manage it, turn traffic into profit. She wasn't just staying for Ethan, she was investing in the brand itself. Inside, the conflict sharpened. Ethan wanted the love story to grow. He saw no harm in letting it breathe. Harper disagreed. To her, romance was garnish. The brother-sister act was the empire, and empires weren't risked for love. The team backed Harper. Ethan stood alone. Still, Lila returned. Flowers in hand, devotion in her eyes. She wanted to show she belonged, to prove she wouldn't walk away. But the room wasn't warm. Harper moved to confront her. Ethan stayed silent, and Lila, unknowingly, walked straight into the storm. In that moment, everything collapsed. The siblings were husband and wife. The engagement was no promise. It was a stunt, engineered to revive a fading brand. The debt crash was theatre, staged humiliation to drive her away. Every vow, every gift, every tender word she believed had been scripted for traffic. Betrayal blurred into fury. The knife flashed, the night split with screams. By the time the sirens arrived, the fairy lights of the engagement still glowed across the water, but the fairy tale was dead. In the end, it was never about her body, never about her money, not even about her. It was about something colder: when love becomes content.